thankfully, we're starting to get an idea what Bound for Glory is going to look like besides the big matches that are already announced. And apparently one of them is going to be a X Division title match that will probably end up featuring Tessa Blanchard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not the world title, but it's still a pretty big title. Do you have any trepidation against putting Tessa against smaller wrestlers in the X Division?
I don't, at least not as much as, say, Tessa versus Brian Cage, because I mean, it's more believable, and I mean, I kind of got to thinking about it, and I can go with a women's X Division champion, because I mean the X Division has always been like the groundbreaking championship for this company, and as Tenay famously coined, it's not weight limits, it's no limits. So now it's not even limited by gender anymore. It's extremely no limits. So I can kind of get behind that one more so than the world championship.
I will double down on my Candace Parker to the NBA reference I made on one of the shows. I don't even remember which one anymore.
It was one of them.
It all runs together eventually. Taking Tessa out of the Knockouts division hurts the Knockouts division more than it helps the X division or the world title scene.
Yeah.
It doesn't really do anything. I can't disagree. It really doesn't do anything outside of a tokenism kind of situation where Tessa is viewed as this unicorn. And, like, I know to some people that's enough, and they love their intergender wrestling, and Joey Ryan's a god to them, even though he fucking jokes about pedophilia. Like, whatever. But to me, I'm not okay with intergender wrestling. There is a biological difference between men and women. Shocking, I know. And when we start to blur too many lines, it stops being a sport and stops being a spectacle. I don't watch GCW because I don't like spectacle wrestling. I like the sports. Like Shane Douglas going, "This is the night that the sport of pro wrestling." And I'm like, yeah. But more to the point, I feel like Tessa should be the face of the company. And I feel like not having the Knockouts title belt around her waist is kind of a slap in the face of the Knockouts division. You're basically saying that if you're good enough, you don't have to compete with the girls. Instead of saying if you're good enough, you could be the face of the company through the girls. And I feel like that's where I kind of come down on this. Tessa could be where she is, only with the women. And, you know, headlining and showcasing and building up to the all-impressive encounter at Bound for Glory with whoever. But instead, we're probably going to get her in a 4-person X Division title match. And I don't know how I feel about that. It's better than the world title?
Yeah.
But it's not great regardless. Because at the end of the day, she's not China. Like, China is 6'2". 6'1". She was physically imposing.
Yes.
It made sense that Chris Jericho would struggle with someone who looked like China. But even at the end of the day, China was still moved back to the women's division to give the women's division some credibility. Taking Tessa out of the women's division hurts the credibility. Don't do that.